important question for this century, with the increasing population growth and age distribution of populations in different countries, is how do we ensure that the quality of the next generation in terms of health and competence is at the very best that we can achieve. The challenge is, if you really want to set that goal, and if you want to create democratic, stable, pluralistic, prosperous societies, you have to do this. The only way that you can get reasonable assurance that your next generations will have greater equity in health and competence is by investing in early child development.
Science is now, I think, in a much better position of being able to help people understand that the early years are not just important for an individual's development. The early years are important for a society's development. It's an old saying that, our children are the nation's future. But we're beginning to understand what that really, really means on a biological and scientific level. We're beginning to understand that our concerns about health care for the older generation, the seeds of those problems are sown in early development.
What are you making here?
She doesn't need to have a university level of education. She doesn't need expensive toys, but using these very simple activities, she can learn to understand her child and respond to her child's needs. And when she does that, the relationship between, mostly we're working with mothers, but the family and the child gets stronger. The attachment process starts to develop more strongly. And this is really important because we're working in communities where there are so many challenges. There's poverty, there's 25% to 30% maternal depression or risk of maternal depression, there's malnutrition. And so within all of that, you're giving the mother a way of being able to say that despite these challenges, she can still give her child so much.
So we are now beginning to discover that it's not only just saving lives, it's also the net contribution of the so-called missed opportunities for child development that contribute to the health and wealth of nations. I believe that we need to very strongly advocate for the importance of investing in health and development as a major trajectory through which countries can pull themselves up from the bottom of the development rung and rise up.
So that evidence is pretty hard. If you want to have stable communities to build tolerant, democratic, prosperous, reasonably equitable societies for the future, you have no choice but to put in high-quality programs for early child development, beginning certainly at birth, preferably when women become pregnant, but certainly you can begin at birth, which is hugely important to improve the future quality of your populations.